Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back here with another video, and welcome to the third penultimate part of my plans and dreams and whatnot to encourage P.O.C and anti-imperialists generally to support SA, i.e. South Africa. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and these are ideas, pointers, thoughts, plans, goals, dreams, you're going to call them, or questions even, as I hope to ask them in question form as I did in parts 1 and 2. 21 to 30. So anyway, as ever, I hope you will get involved in the comment section and answer or ask any questions or post whatever you want, and let me know what you think, if you'd be so kind, please. Here goes. So number 21, what are some historical facts about South Africa? And also, do you think that people of colour or anti-imperialists should encourage companies, and you think that companies and investors and whatnot can be encouraged to invest in South Africa? And I suppose do like to what happened under apartheid when investment was taken out of the country because it was to sort of challenge apartheid. This could be something to support P.O.C and support diversity and support the black community in South Africa and P.O.C in South Africa, as well as diverse parts of South Africa generally, because it can show what it can sort of be a way to show to imperialists and so-called racists what South Africa and black people generally can do. So I think that could be a good reason for people of colour to support South Africa and anti-imperialists generally. But again, I'd love to know what you think about that, so please let me know. And also, I say due to the history, I think it's a good reason due to apartheid, as I mentioned before. Yeah, I'd love to know what you think about that. Do you think that companies and investors should be encouraged to invest in South Africa? Another thing is, in part 2, I mentioned how Brazil was playing England in the football, and I wanted to, this is just a side note, but I wanted to react to that. I just wanted to mention a point, as I say, 21 again. I thought to myself, I sort of missed an opportunity to react to it, which some people may have enjoyed, because I sort of had the room to myself, so I could have used that time. But I was sort of a bit demotivated, and I also thought I wanted to listen to the commentary, but I thought later on I could have just tried to put it on subtitles and just watch the commentary, which is not quite the same. But I'm hoping in the future to react to videos, football videos from FIFA officially, and maybe have a deal with FIFA, which I've been talking about recently, having deals with FIFA. So hopefully, for instance, agreeing to donate any profits I make from those videos, if I do make any, to FIFA perhaps, or like to projects run by FIFA, especially benefiting Italian football, Celtic, and places like South Africa and other developing nations. And again, talking about 21 again, I suppose on that note, I hope to improve relations between Italian football and soccer, Calcio, footy, or whatever you call it, Serie A and that kind of thing, and Celtic and South Africa. I hope it will be a mutual benefit between all those places. So I hope to build bridges and links between like Italian football, say soccer, footy, Calcio, or whatever you call it, and Celtic and South Africa and other places like India. So see what they could benefit. I hope that through such things, Italian football and Celtic will benefit football-wise, and South Africa and other nations across Africa and Asia will benefit financially, developing nations and whatnot. And Italian football and Celtic could fundraise for them and have like academies and sports clubs in those countries. So again, I hope all involved will benefit. Number 22, what can South Africa achieve in the future? I'd love to see what they can achieve. What do you think they can achieve, I suppose, is the question. I think it'll be interesting to see what South Africa can achieve and to show what black people and people of colour generally, and even anti-imperialists, can do when we work together towards shared goals, and hopefully prove to imperialists and so-called racists what we can achieve together. Number 23, I'd love for South Africa to have events like investment. I know they already have the inaugural investment conference in South Africa, but I hope they'll have many more like that. Obviously, it'll be up to South Africa these are sort of suggestions, and it'll be up to South Africa to when that will be. So I'd love to know from people from South Africa themselves, maybe even those in government and those policymakers, businesses and whatnot, YouTubers, TikTokers and whatnot, about what are some good dates and places where they could host events, inviting people from around the world to South Africa to invest, and having like YouTubers events, TikTokers events, anti-imperial groups events and things like that. So anti-imperial TikTokers and YouTubers and whatnot could go to South Africa, but obviously, as I say, it would be dependent on what are the best dates for policymakers, like the politicians, government, council, and things like that. So and also businesses and what venues can host those sorts of things, and security situation. So like whether they can keep security for everyone and that kind of thing, keep people secure. And I suppose I'm not really expecting the government of South Africa to stumble across these videos, but I hope they'll reach them, perhaps, and find them interesting, and talk about what dates are best for them to invite people, and then see. And maybe they could also find out from investors when are best, so they can sort of have a negotiation on what's best for everyone involved, the potential investors and South Africa itself. And also they could have Zoom chats if people are unable to go to South Africa, or South Africa are unable to host so many events. 24, as they say, there's only 24 hours in a day, but I'd love to know, as I say, from South Africans, what are some key days and dates in South Africa's history, and what dates are important to you if any South Africans watch this video, which I hope they do, and hope they get shared with, I hope these videos generally get shared. The ones that are about South Africa, I hope they get shared with people from South Africa, and I hope they host as many events as they can. On the 27th, I think it is 27th of April, which is South Africa's Freedom Day. I hope to discuss, I believe it's South Africa's Freedom Day on that day, but I'll have to double check my calendar. But I hope they'll I hope to make videos about what sort of events South Africa could host, given there's only so much space and time, of course, as I say, 24 hours a day and that kind of thing. Number 25, I dream that they will host Republic events, and I would love to ask again, I suppose phrasing it as a question, what do you think about the idea of South Africa hosting Republic events, and how could they do it? What would be the best ways to do it? Should they do it on Zoom, or by inviting people from republics all over the world, or a bit of both, preferably, which is what I would prefer to see. I think people from republics, or people who support republics, Republican supporters, should support South Africa. I wonder what you think about that, but I have for South Africa to host Republic events where they bring Republican nations and also those who support republics, and invite them to the nation, and network with other republics as well. Number 26, again, anti-imperial events. I forgot to say in point number 24, I knew this was something, but I knew there was something, but I hope they can improve relations with, as I often talk about, like Malaysia, India, Indonesia, and Nepal, as well as like Saudi Arabia. I think it'd be quite fitting, like both have the acronym SA, and I think they already do have a partnership with South Africa, but I hope they will strengthen that even more. I think South Africa will join in the BRICS, so hopefully they'll cement their relation even further. And on that note, how can former colonies work together more? I'd love to know any suggestions on that as well. Number 27, what are the best ways to reward those who support South Africa? I suppose as companies, it's like buying from their companies, so the opposite to the BDS, or boycott, divest and sanctions. Some sort of reward system where those companies that invest in South Africa, or even investors that invest in South Africa generally, including possibly entire nations or groups or whatnot, as well as companies and investors, as say, maybe there could be a list of such. I'd love to know what you think about that as well. Could there be award ceremonies and rewards, a list of those companies that invest, which could be on websites, YouTube channels and things like that? I'd love to know what you think are the best ways to reward those who invest in and just generally support South Africa. I think that as P.O.C, as people of colour, and also anti-imperialists, especially those who feel strongly about anti-imperialism for whatever reason, and those who want to support those who are oppressed, which I suppose is one reason to be an anti-imperialist, as well as being a person of colour. what's my thoughts on it? I suppose our reward could be that we see South Africa do well and hopefully prove imperialists and so-called racists wrong. I suppose normally those two go hand in glove, but yeah, we can hopefully prove them wrong and show what black people can achieve running businesses and things like that, and just generally achieving as much as possible. Number 28, what are some of the ways to make up for South Africa's history? I think what I talked about before in terms of like being the opposite to the BDS campaign, again, boycott, divestment and sanctions, the opposite of that, like sort of buying from South Africa and supporting South African industry, products, goods and services and that kind of thing, especially from black owned or businesses or coloured owned businesses as they call them, which are mixed race people, or P.O.C businesses or diverse businesses or anti-racist businesses even generally, although I suppose it's not always easy to prove that they're anti-racist or whatever. Supporting those, I think, is a great way to turn the negative situations into positives and sort of make up for history. But again, I'd love to know what you think on that as well as all the other points I make. 29, I'd love to see what neurodiverse people and mixed race people could achieve, as well as P.O.C could achieve, and even anti-imperialists could achieve for South Africa generally. And I suppose phrasing it as a question, what do you think such groups like neurodiverse people, P.O.C, mixed race people, and so-called anti-imperialists, what do you think they could respectively achieve in terms of helping South Africa? And number 30, I suppose I'm running out of questions, but I'd love to know what you think and what do you think are the best ways, basically generally, to support South Africa. I suppose if I do try and make part 4, it's probably going to be difficult as I've already run out of questions. But anyway, I forgot to say in the intro, I wish you, I hope you're having a great time wherever you are, and peace and love. I'm out.